Barry, all the Haksameas are behind us. Festival season is finished. We have Hanukkah coming in the future, of course. But for now, the greatest news that I have heard in the last days is this. Those who were taken hostage,
Yes.
20 of them who were taken hostage on October 7th, 2023, they slept in their own homes, in their own beds, with their own families on Simcha Torah of this year, 2 years later. What an amazing time. We
Absolutely.
gathered together, a few of us, yesterday afternoon, for the last day of the feast. And a year ago, we had purchased wine from Saigot Winery, the October 7 wine. And we drank it a year ago. We drank a bottle a year ago together, and it was hard to swallow. This year, we opened up another bottle, and we shared it with those that were gathered. It was sweeter this year than it was a year ago. Still about 20 bodies that have not been brought back.
20 bottles. Yes, the 4 more are recovered.
And there's 4 more. Yeah, I'm trying to keep up with their life and all the numbers at the same time. And one of the bodies was not, he is actually an Arab that was dressed in an IDF uniform. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we rejoice, but on the other hand, we understand the reality that though Mr. Trump may have said that this is eternal peace, with all due respect, Mr. Trump, you have no idea what you're talking about.
I saw that statement, Mike. I was listening to some of the remarks, and he did preface it with this phrase, God willing. So one might ask the question, well, certainly it is the will of Yahweh to allow men to live in peace and for Israel to dwell in safety, and it would not be Yah's will for this war to continue when so much life has been lost. Of the 68,000 suggested lives lost inside Gaza, I saw a report yesterday that 57,000 were combatants, leaving 11,000, and of those, there is another large number who died not from some kind of attack or explosion or something, but rather they died from other causes. They were sick or they had disease, etc. And saying it's down to like 1% or something other of the actual civilian casualty rate, which is unheard of.
Now, I have to say that I was actually on a call this morning by a person that shared that, and I in turn shared it because this is a trusted person. Come to find out that that post has not been verified yet.
Okay.
Well, okay, so we're not sure, but I just want to say, because I'm one of the ones that shared it also, that it has not been verified, and I've taken it down. Maybe it's true, and if it is, I'll put it back up. So you said, the God of Israel. I have to ask a question in the midst of this, Barry. When President Trump, and I'm not in no disrespect to this man, I said to people yesterday, there are two. This is, you cannot discuss anything in this world today. You have on one side Donald Trump, TDS, Donald Trump, or Trump's derangement syndrome.
Yes.
And on the other side, you have TMS, Trump Messiah syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not in either camp.
No.
But with that, are we talking about the God that he spoke as he was in the Knesset, the God of Abraham, Isaac, or Jacob? Or are we talking about the God who is represented by the huge number that were there from Muslim nations which is the God of Abraham, Ishmael, and Esau.
Well, yes, historically, both is those of Islam and those of Judaism, both and Christianity, for that matter, all claimed for the a route to Abraham. At Abraham, it splits, goes in various directions. Uh, you and I discussed this very, very briefly. Certainly isn't, not enough to orchestrate this conversation today. It's just an idea tossed back and forth a couple times. From Abraham, obviously, you have Yaakov, who is the progenitor of Israel, Yitzhak and Yaakov. With Ishmael, you have the progenitor of the Arabic people, who in large part, not in totality, but in very, very large part, have become Muslim and represent Islam. So where does Christianity come from? Well, the claim is that it comes down through the lineage of the same as Judaism. But you mentioned a third character here. The spirit of Esau is not Muslim. He is married into the daughters of Ishmael, but he himself is not Islam per se. If we follow the rabbinical take on this, which says that Ishmael is the Arabic people, Esau is the father of two significant entities. One is Rome, and the rabbinical mindset traces him through various characters into Rome, from which we have the professional, universal. I hesitate to say it this way. It has the professional Roman Christian system.
Yeah.
Out of which then we have.
I'll go with that. Yeah.
Protestant daughters.
Yeah.
Did I just say that all Christians are Esau? No, I did not.
Mm-mm.
No, it is the professional glitz, glamour, hierarchy system that dominates and controls the masses in the pews, and basically religiously browbeats them into submission to whatever the dogmas are. There's a difference between that and a person who follows after Messiah,
Yeah,
and lives by the Spirit and by the truth of the Word. All right. The second entity that comes out of Esau is Amalek. That's the character that we're dealing with in this situation.
mm-hmm.
Does Christianity have a part to play? Yeah, in what you just described, Mike, as the Messiah syndrome of elevating a political leader to a spiritual status. And that's just not a wise thing to do. But it says in Exodus or Shemot 17, it says Yahweh is to fight against Amalek from generation to generation. Amalek is the character who doesn't care whether they live or die.
Mm-hmm.
Their purpose and their goal and agenda is to attack and to slaughter Israel.
Mm-hmm.
And as the rabbinical take is, if Israel is, if there's a boiling pot of water, if you attack Israel, you will be jumping into a boiling pot of water. They will jump in to cool it off for somebody else to join them.
Hmm.
They are radical. They're insane.
Yeah.
They're filled with such vile hatred that they don't care if they live or die. Which goes back to a program we did earlier where we were talking about the tenets and plans of Islam. I just read a book. I think it's here. Yes, just a second. I read a book a month or two ago called The Sword and the Scimitar.
Mm.
And this is not a fun read.
Mm.
You're not going to enjoy reading this book, but you need to read this book. And it is a detailed history of the development of Islam against Christianity and how Islam almost succeeded in conquering Europe. If they had conquered Europe as according to their initial plan, we would be a different people in the United States than we are right now. And when you read this, if you read it, you will realize we're not talking about a few thousand people. We're talking millions and billions of people since the birth of Islam have been slaughtered, enslaved, forced into breeding, forced to deny their belief just to survive. And the goal has not changed. Islam is at its very heart a violent religion that seeks to conquer either through coercion and demand of conversion or death. And Hamas, they are Amalek, and they are followers and dedicated people of Islam. They don't care what document you sign. They don't care who throws bombs at them. Well, if one or two of them survive, they will find a way to kill. And that's just their mindset. You cannot have a treaty with that.
So this is an interesting progression here for me. What I hear you saying, Barry, is that Ishmael, of course, going to Muslim, but then when you go to Esau, now I would consider that though they are, though they are related physically, I'm looking at the spiritual aspect.
Mm-hmm.
So both Ishmael and Esau, they carry the same spirit with them, which is a destruction of Isaac and Jacob, the lineage. So it's when we go back to and yes, when I'm in Israel, there's a certain time that up when we used to have to drive through Hawara, I've been there on the birthday of Abraham, as they call it, and it's for them it's a holy day because they do go back to Abraham. The Samaritans go back to Abraham. Okay, Vacation Bible School went back to Abraham. But then you have to make a decision of which line of Abraham you're going to be grafted into. Now, you mentioned the Muslim religion, which has been about death, destruction. There is no peaceful Muslim religion. There may be people that do not understand their religion and have looked at the history of it, but it is not a peaceful religion in writing. It never has been, never will be. But then you bring in Christianity, and if you look back at history, Christianity is, I'm not going back to the book of Acts because I do not believe that that is Christianity. That was a sect of Judaism.
Yes, it was.
That was following Yeshua as Mashiach ben Yosef, the suffering servant, and was awaiting his return as Mashiach ben David, the conquering king.
Yes, true.
So, if we look at Christianity from the time of Marcion and Constantine, we see Christianity is also a violent religion.
And historically is so.
Which is about conquest, which is about conversion or death. That is the doctrine of the Catholic Church that would have produced the pogroms, the Inquisition, etc., etc. Now, to say that this is not alive and well in Protestant religion, in Protestant Christianity, is a bit of a stretch, because Protestant Christianity still teaches regarding Jews that they either convert or they are as such cut off from their own heritage of the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So what you did, you kind of expanded the horizons here of what's happening. The two boys, the two spirits that are represented. I'm still 2,000 miles in 7 days, 7 speaking engagements, and 4 hours with Eddie Chumney is still it's still kind of affecting me a little bit. But thankful for Brother Eddie. So the spirit behind Ishmael and Esau, and the spirit behind Israel, Isaac and Jacob, we who are wanting to be reconnected to, as Romans says, as the book of Yaakov, James says, our father Abraham, we must choose. Will we walk in our father Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob and that covenant, or will we walk in our father Abraham, Ishmael, and Esau, a false covenant?
I find it interesting that Esau and Ishmael are related strategically.
Mm-hmm.
Esau, he married wives from the pagans around him, which was a great sense of distress to his parents. I think it is Rashi who commented that the smoke of their illicit offerings was burning Rivka's eyes.
Yeah.
I think. So it says that, and maybe I can find this real quick and not just guess at how it reads.
And as you're doing that, and some would say that the reason for Jacob's dimness of sight is because of the pagan incense that was burning in the tent.
Right. Esau saw that the daughters of Canaan did not please his father Yitzhak, and Esau went to Ishmael and took Mahalath, the daughter of Ishmael, Abraham's son, the sister of Nebaioth, to be his wife, besides the wives that he had. It was a marriage that was not birthed out of affection and love, but rather strategy and convenience.
Mm-hmm.
And it was an attempt to make Daddy happy. Now, whether Daddy was happy having a member of Ishmael's family, when Ishmael tried, was a marker, and some commentators even say that he was a physical threat to Yitzhak. I don't know that would have, well, I at least I got some Abrahamic connection going on here, Daddy. So that intermarriage there, it was a strategic alliance to achieve an appeasing goal. There is how do I say that? There is some possibly significant ties. That's tactful diplomatic speak.
Yeah.
That Rome actually, the Roman Church actually helped Muhammad craft the Quran. Possibly.
And yeah.
So it came back to bite them, certainly.
Yeah.
But if the Quran was used to inflame passion against the Jews, well and good as far as Christianity was concerned, because the Jews were just a stumbling block for them having their significant capital of Jerusalem, which they wanted to basically seize the land of Israel as their significant conquest to verify their own religion, even though they never intended to shift from Rome to Jerusalem. Because, Mike, it goes back to the 10 northern tribes, the disdain of Jerusalem and preference to your own capital and your own system.
Interesting
there's
enough.
So many spiritual links.
Oh, yeah. Interesting enough, both it is. I haven't verified the topography of this, but both are cities with 7 hills. So
That's interesting.
yeah. Now Catholicism, as you just said, was wanting to usurp Jerusalem. Was wanting to
Wait, but
usurp the significance of the Temple Mount with Rome. Islam has a desire to usurp the authority of Jerusalem with Mecca. So Jerusalem is important for both, but it is down the list of importance, down below everything. So this whole thing with Esau, going back a little bit to Esau, Esau was the first man of a Hudna, though there was not an Arabic
explain
language.
Explain Hudna.
Okay, and that's where I'm going. Though there was not an Arabic language at the time of Esau, he was the first one to come up with the concept of it. The concept of a Hudna, and I've taught this a couple times in other broadcasts this week. The concept of a Hudna, there are 2 words, the only 2 words I know in Arabic, salam and Hudna. They're both translated peace. But the word salam cannot be between a Muslim and a non-Muslim. Now, you go to the Arab market in Jerusalem, which I don't go to. I refuse to support terrorism. And I will say this, and this sounds very harsh, but if you go on a tour to Israel, they take you to an Arab-owned hotel. They put you on an Arab-owned bus with an Arab bus driver, and take you to the Arab market to buy groceries because it's cheaper. You are supporting terrorism, which is why we do not do any of that on our Connect to Israel tour. So with that, you cannot speak. That though they would do it, they know that it's out of order. So peace, actual peace, shalom, salam, can only be between 2 Muslims. The other word is hudna, which was made famous by Muhammad and other Muslim leaders. The essence of hudna is this: I have come to the realization that I cannot be victorious over you at this moment. My armies are decimated. I will give a season of so-called peace in order that I may back up, regroup, rearm, until such time as I feel that I am strong enough now to come and be victorious over you. The word Islam means superior. There is no let's just agree to disagree. There is no looking at each other on any kind of level ground. This is why in every town the minaret on an Islamic whatever has to be higher than any church or any other religious steeple or whatever. The minaret always has to be higher. They have to be. In fact, it is said that the reason for them having their so-called Sabbath on Friday was to be superior to or to have theirs prior to the people of the Saturday and the people of the Sunday. We have to have our Sabbath time first.
So it's consistently one-upsmanship, superiority, and they love a grandstand. They love the parade. They love the demonstrations.
It's a bully on the playground.
As you say that, Mike, there was in 2005 when Israel pulled out of Gaza, the Palestinian Authority, led by Fatah, Abbas, went in and was supposed to be the ruling authority there. In 2006, Gazans elected Hamas instead, and Fatah and Hamas have never gotten along. They are competing perspectives, political mindsets, and it was a great affront to Fatah, to Mahmoud Abbas. It's interesting now that this deal has been signed, that Fatah is supposed to be, in the interim, I think, going in and being the ruling authority until whatever else is worked out. But they have appointed Hamas as the police authority. So Hamas and Fatah have gotten in the same bed together now and are playing nice, because it is, as Esau marrying into Ishmael, it is a strategic alliance for a purpose. Hamas then has been murdering, dragging out people they thought were collaborators or in any way supportive of Israel or have said anything against Hamas, and they have brought them out and they're executing them in the streets, which is basically daring anybody to raise their head and say anything.
This is
I feel that this is going to be a nice, peaceful transition. Um, you know, I support Donald Trump in a lot of things that he has tried to accomplish and put into place. In a lot of ways, there's been a lot of improvement. I think his intentions of what he's wanting to accomplish in bringing peace, there are parts of that I'm thinking he's trying to do what he thinks is the right thing. The man is no dummy, but at the same time, spiritually speaking, he's making political moves based on political strategy. This is not a political resolve. This is a spiritual resolve for which he has not been well advised.
So I go back to, I totally agree with you there. I go back to my statement regarding Mr. Trump, President Trump, is that he is a businessman, not a biblical man. You said he's no dummy. Okay. I agree with you, and I'm going to change the terms. He is no dummy, but he is spiritually ignorant. He made a statement, infamous statement now of, well, I don't think I'll be one going to heaven. And I'm going to be, but maybe I've done some things on this earth that are good enough and help people along, but heaven's not really for me. And I saw that post on social media, and a person responded, because it was said, that this man is spiritually confused, and somebody underneath that said, "Oh no, he's not confused. He's a real Christian, and to even question that is judgmental." This is the TMS, Trump Messiah syndrome, to where people have been blinded totally on both sides by emotion, by religion, by all kinds of things. President Trump is, and the people that are around him giving him spiritual advice, I don't have any respect for any of them. I don't know who they are, but what kind of advice are you giving this man? He is a spiritually ignorant man, a biblically ignorant man, and therefore cannot understand the concepts that are going on.
Yeah, it's not as though he doesn't have the capacity to understand if someone would help him to understand, but he's just not been exposed by any advisors, it doesn't seem. to a level to where
Yeah.
it would make a difference. But I want to throw this in before I forget it, Mike. Those that are looking for a perfect, righteous resolve to this situation, you're going to be disappointed, and you cannot look at what has been established at this point and say, see, there it's going to be peace. It's not.
Yeah.
This is a political resolve.
Yeah.
That you cannot expect a messianic resolve, a resolve that only Yeshua can establish through a political agenda.
Yeah.
Even when
Totally.
Yeshua returns, Mike, and brings peace to the earth, he's going to do so through violent war and bloodshed. He's going to establish peace because there will be none left to oppose him. And that's something that even those who are sitting in comfortable chairs listening to sermons are not going to appreciate. Because our returning Messiah is not Ben Joseph. He is going to be the son of David. King David Hamelech, had blood on his hands, and he was known as a very successful, violent warrior.
Yeah.
And Mashiach Yeshua is going to return with a sword, a conquering army, and those who have opposed him are going to be wiped out.
Absolute. Yeah. Yeah. No doubt. So let me finish with this thing with Esau. When Jacob was coming back to Beit El, he had been with Laban. The word Laban, of course, means white, a false holiness. He had been in exile. There he found these Rachel and Leah and all that happened with that. But the infamous moment, the night in which he had the wrestling match, and the next day we see that Esau comes and he kisses him on the neck. You and I know that the word there is not a kiss. It is like sinking your teeth into. It's like people would think of a vampire, sucking the blood out, killing. So to everyone around, to the family of Jacob, to the family of Esau, they were looking from a distance saying, look, they've made up. Esau kissed his brother. They've made up. But in actuality, Esau had made a huddah. He said to Isaac in so many words, I cannot defeat you right now,
Yaakov.
but I'll be back.
Yeah.
I'll be back because my whole purpose in life is your defeat. The purpose of the Spirit that is behind Ishmael, the purpose of the Spirit is behind Esau, Hamas, Islam. It is death to the covenant. It is death to the words spoken to Abraham on Elon Moreh, the Mount of the Oak of Moreh, who said, I am making a covenant with your descendants. This will be further given as your descendants through Isaac and Jacob, and I am giving you this land. I'm giving you this land and making a covenant with you. And that is what's being attacked today. So we're not talking about a two-state solution anymore. We're talking about the eventual state of Palestine being in Gaza. Excuse me, that's the same thing as a two-state solution. It's as demonic today as it was then. There will be no peace eternally. And please, would everyone out there take a word out of your vocabulary, a couple of words. There is no such thing as Palestine, and there is no such thing as a Palestinian. They're Gazans in Gaza. There was not a state, is not a state, and I believe will not be a state. because that's not their land to proclaim a state in, period.
You mentioned this scenario where Esau and Yaakov are reacquainted, and Esau is basically saying, "Come dwell with me," and Yaakov says, "I'll catch up with you later."
Yeah.
He wisely distanced himself. The next time you see the two brothers together, they're burying their father Yitzhak. Yaakov knows, Israel knows, there is no lasting peace. Now, they will politically speak about their desire for there to be peace, and they have acted on that. They have cared for Arabic people who have sought to slaughter them. If they get wounded or whatever, they'll take them to their own hospitals and try to save their life. It's unthinkable to the extent that they will go to try to preserve life, even of their adversaries and their enemies. Hamas is not going to disarm.
No.
President Trump said, "You will disarm or we will disarm you." We will see how that plays out. We are in a season now. I think it was significant that the hostages were returned on Hoshana Rabbah, the seventh day of Sukkot. It is significant that all this transpired during Sukkot. We're post Sukkot now. And we are in a season where the joy of Sukkot is going to be tested.
Yeah.
And we're going to see what word do I use? The fallout, the ramifications, the aftermath of all the documents that have been signed. Well, you're just being cynical and you're just being a negative person. I'm being realistic. Not that that there are not sincere partners who are wanting peace and seeking peace out of this. We just understand the parties that are being dealt with, whether that's Turkey that signed on, Egypt that signed on, or even the European leaders that were looking over the shoulder and nodding their heads in approval. Europe has proved itself not a friend of Israel. Turkey certainly is not a friend of Israel.
No.
Egypt has been a arm's length adversary for generations. If it's not about financial improvement of their own lands and American investment to make them wealthy, they're not interested. So these things were not signed because, well, we just want to prevent Israel blood being shed.
Yeah.
That's not even on their mind to any extent. This is all about political position and the potential of money. May Yah bring honor and glory to Yeshua through this and defend his people Israel. Do not stop praying for the valiant heart of Israel to remain intact, that they would not relax, that rather they would rearm themselves, replenish themselves, and stay very, very much alert. They need to be on a high alert now, more so than they were before the documents were signed.
Totally agree. Totally agree. That was my prayer this morning. The good news is that all the hostages that are alive are sleeping in their own beds.
Hallelujah for that.
They're hugging their own wives, husbands, children, parents. Those that are deceased, God willing, will be all back accounted for in Israel. For now, there is a little bit of R&R, rest and relaxation. For those who are in and out of Gaza, the IDF soldiers that I'm aware of, they're right now, they're in and out. They're enjoying some time at home, enjoying some time with family. But this is just a season of time for them to rest because the battle's still going on. Let us not put aside, as you just said, let us not rest in prayer. He who keeps Israel doesn't slumber or sleep, which means he doesn't take a break from it. Let's keep our focus.
Agreed. Agreed.
All right.
Now, next week, folks, Mike will be in the land and leading a tour. My intention at this point is to produce a Foundations for Life with a guest host. The second week that he will be in the land, bless his heart, I have, I think, a special message that I want to bring. Totally different subject than today. And then after that, we'll see what kind of jet lag that Mike is dealing with 3 weeks from today. So
yeah,
we will be here for the next 2 weeks, but just in a slightly different appearance.
Yeah, 3 weeks from
that
now.
Smiling face out of Carolina.
Yeah, 3 weeks from now, I may be up at 2:00 in the morning doing it with you, but we'll see. For those who are interested, you can go to my YouTube page and you can subscribe to YouTube, for friend me on Facebook, and follow us through the land. I will be doing limited video while I'm there this time because I have a tour group. But the same thing. Barry, I'm so looking forward to. I got one video planned for the last 2 years. For the last 2 trips that I've made, I've done a video coming into Ben Gurion Airport. As you walk down the ramp, you know where it's at.
Yeah.
And there was the pictures of the hostages. I am so looking forward to doing a video. There's no pictures there. And I'm gonna do that video. And it probably reference again the song, "This is the air I breathe." I got 12 others that are going to be breathing the air. 2 of them that I know of specifically will probably be doing so through a Kleenex.
Yeah, House of David will be represented.
That's right.
And we're delighted that we can send people and funds and bless the land.
And thanks to House of David for a very generous gift, and to others who have given. We will be taking a record number as far as our funds go, and leaving it in areas where Yah directs us. Every single dollar, as I said to you in a text last night, every single dollar that's given by us in Israel has one word attached to it, and that is relationship.
Relationship.
Yeah.
It is rebuilding a broken bridge.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you for watching today. Thank you for your comments. We are very much interested in those. And thank you for sharing in your social media and encouraging your friends to watch. And I'll see you next week. Be blessed in the land, Mike. We look forward to hearing from you from there.
All right. Take care.
See you, man.